Yes, yes. What up, guys? It's your boy T-Dub with Blazing the Sports. Of course, I'm back at it like a crack addict, giving you boxing geekers this work. And guys, for all of you that catch this on replay, I know, I get it. My schedule a little bit off due to work. But do me a favor. Smash the like button now. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Observing stuff in the building. What's going on? St. Louis in the building. You know what? I used to have a Rams hat. I used to love the Rams. Throughout their failure every year, I was a Rams fan. Until they left me, talk smack about my city. Listen, when they said St. Louis was like a toilet bowl for NFL teams, deterring other teams to come here, that's when I had to cut ties, like an umbilical cord. But we talking boxing. Guys, Andy Ruiz came out, did a post. He said, who do you guys want me to fight next? Eddie Hearn says, Dillian Whyte. Now my question to you. Yeah, Frank West, I knew this head was going to make somebody mad. I knew it. It don't even match. I knew it. No, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I am an NFC fan more. I like the NFC more. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I was a Rams fan. I did like the Rams. But it's not because they left. It's what the owners and others said regarding the city, why I no longer support the Rams. That's just me personally. When you call the city that I was born in so many words, a toilet bowl for other NFL teams, I can hang with you. You can have a noose, rope, I can't hang with you. I'm done. I'm cutting ties. There's no umbilical cord anymore. The Rams can get rammed until next week. No, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I don't have nothing against the Chiefs. 49ers, hey, Frank West, the 49ers will be playing. I can understand why you hate it here. People weren't buying tickets anymore. You know what? But think about this observing stuff. This is the thing, man. It was all a plot, right? It was all set up. Listen, I'm going to get to my boxing. Don't worry about that. I got you. But I'm going to tell you my opinion about the Rams, right? For about a decade, nothing but losing. About a decade. And they were letting go good players and not replacing them. O-line, gone. Receivers, gone. Linebackers, defensive backs, gone. Until there was Steven Jackson by himself on an island. It's crazy. He's out there with 11 people, but he's more like being out there by himself on an island. And then, when people wasn't buying it anymore, when they had the idea to take it back to LA, guess what they started doing? Guess what? They started to invest in the team. They started recruiting players, receivers, running backs. What the hell is that? Okay. Receivers, running back. They got the team to a level to where, remember this, LA let the Rams go because they suck, and not in a good way. Not in a way that you like your girlfriend to do it. Not in a good way. They sucked. That's why LA, the second biggest market, gave them the boot. That when they came to St. Louis, they still had a footprint on their back. They still had a footprint. You know how many years it took us to get that footprint off their back? But you know what? Let's get to the boxing. Woo! Let's get to it. Low key in the building. What's blazing, homie? Let's talk about it. Dillian Whyte, Eddie Hearn really wants this fight, man. Let's see, low-key says, Andy Ruiz will trash this guy. Fun fact, Suge Knight played for the Rams back when they were in L.A. Didn't know that. That is a good one. Unanonymous in the building. What's up, bro? I think Ruiz needs the time out for that fiasco he gave us 2 months ago. He become a check chaser, no pride. I'm going to talk about it. Andy Snicker Ruiz versus Big Baby Steroids Juicy Davis. Von D Gaming, what's up, homie? Whyte and Eddie still avoiding Ortiz. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, right? I was one, I supported Andy, right? Andy went out there, put hands and feet on Joshua, beat him down, fought like a fat boy who was starving for the last slice of cake, and Anthony Joshua stood in that way. He beat the Midas breaks off of Joshua. Right? I'm telling the truth, right? And then he kept saying, I'm still hungry. I wanted more. I wanted more. I'm still hungry. You know? So I'm believing him, right? I'm like, listen, he's not going to just go out there and let the fame overcome him. Yes, I hear about him buying cars and buying houses. I get it. Who wouldn't do it? Listen, I'm not done with money, but I would do it too. If you telling me if where T-Dub stay at right now in a condo, and I got all these millions, that I won't buy a better house, you smoke. Let's see if it reconnects. But let's keep talking. I was pulling for Andy Ruiz. I thought Andy was going to beat Anthony Joshua, right? I picked Andy to beat Joshua in the rematch. But I'm going to start telling you what things started to sound funny with me. When I started to hear that even besides the rematch, that Eddie Hearn was going to still be working with Andy Ruiz doing some type of fights with him. I started questioning things then. And if any of you guys was on my live feed before the actual fight, you know I got inside information from a guy who left Andy Ruiz sparring camp, Big Shot Show. And when I asked him about who was going to win, most people, if they're hired by a person and spent their camp with that person, they would say that person will win. No! Big Shot says, nah, Anthony Joshua. The way he kind of scares me. But T-Dub sticking with his guns, wanted to stick with my pick, wanted to believe in Andy Ruiz. But somebody didn't tell me that Andy Ruiz didn't believe in himself anymore. So listen. He weighed in 284 pounds. People saying Andy came into the fight around 300 pounds. He put up about as much an effort as an infant puts up with getting out the car seat. He didn't. Listen. I don't want to talk about it. But we're going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. You know I don't. But we're going to talk about it. Because I'm back at it. Like a crack at it. Giving you boxing geekers this work. So do me a favor and smash the like button. If you ain't smashing the like, then you ain't smashing right. And you wonder, when you in there with your chick, you 10 solid pumps in, and she asks you, are you in yet? Then you ain't smashing right. But I'm telling you right now, if you smash the like button right now, you go home to that same chick, and you get remotely close to it. You see them like, ooh, ooh. You're smashing right when you smash the like. Smash the like button. All right. Who wins, guys? Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz. Can Dillian Whyte do what Joshua did? Move, run, box on the outside. Can he do that to Andy Ruiz? Can he do it? Will Andy Ruiz versus Joshua 1 show up? Or will Andy Ruiz versus Joshua 2 show up? Or does it not matter because styles make fights and in the building? Frank West is in the building. Scrapbook Boxing is in the building. James Ortega is in the building. Conor McGregor and Cowboy fighting this weekend in Las Vegas. Infant Corsi was, yeah, man. American Pastor Travel in the building was blazing, homie. I think I have Ruiz winning against White. Let's talk about it. I missed some chats. Oh, man, just jumped up again on me. Hold on. American Pastor Travel. T-Dub, what it do? Salute to the chat. Observing stuff, Andy could be White. Okay. What's good, my brother? What's blazing? Yes, yes. All right, so let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about this. Even though Andy Ruiz came out there and put up about as much effort in a Joshua 2 fight as a, one of them little umbrellas that's in them little Hawaiian drinks on the beach against a thunderstorm, right? You got the little umbrella, and it ain't doing nothing, right? He didn't push the action. He didn't throw the combinations. He never changed the pace. He didn't cut the ring off. He didn't do nothing. Listen, Joshua fought to keep the belts. Not to keep the belts, I'm sorry. He fought just to get the win. He didn't fight to win. He fought to get the win. See, he didn't try to take the fight. He wanted to play like, I can touch you, I can touch you, I can touch you, I can touch you. You know what I'm talking about. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. I remember when that was done to me as a kid. And I am sad to say, with little T-Dub, right? I got a son that's, he's 6 years old. And he's always trying to fight me, right? Well, play fight. And when he grabbed me, I took his hand the other day. I stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Listen, if it's done to me, I'm just passing it on. I'm just passing it on. You know? All right, but let's get back to it. Even though Andy Ruiz did not do good, right? Dillian Whyte, to be honest, Dillian Whyte, even though he only got one loss, he's been hurt. He's been dropped a lot of fights. He's been hurt more than broken hearts. He's been dropped more than ex-girlfriends. Oscar Ruiz put hands on him, dropped him. Even the last fight with Derek Chisora, right? Derek Chisora, in my opinion, was actually winning that fight. The referee kept messing with Derek Chisora, kept stopping him, kept warning him, started taking points from him. The referee, in my opinion, got inside of Derek Chisora head. And Derek Chisora went reckless, and then that's when Dillian Whyte caught him with the left hook. Joseph Parker dropped Dillian Whyte. Lucas Brown. Nah, he beat Lucas Brown. Listen. Listen. People call Luis Ortiz old. Do me a favor, guys. After this video, do me a favor. Go pull up Lucas Brown and pull up Luis Ortiz. And I just want to ask you, who looks older? Who looks in better shape? Ortiz look and act like he can compete with the upper echelon heavyweights right now. Lucas Brown looks and act like he should have been a nephew to Moses. Not a great nephew, a direct nephew. It's like if Moses would have parted the Red Sea, Lucas Brown was like, should we cross now? He was that person. Should we cross now? That was him. Way back then. probably almost got caught in the Red Sea when it was closing because he thought it was a good time to go fishing. He in the middle of the Red Sea parted from here to there. He out there with a fishing pole trying to catch a whale. To Moses said, if you don't get your big head, small body ass over here, get out the Red Sea. Okay. Who? Fight Dillian Whyte? Okay. But let's talk about it. I wrote down some things from BoxRec, just their height, just the BoxRec stuff so we can compare. Dillian Whyte, 27 wins, 1 loss, 18 knockouts. The body goes by the body snatcher, 31 years old. And let's compare these guys, right? Andy Ruiz, 33 wins, 2 losses, 22 knockouts. Goes by Destroyer. The age, Dillian Whyte, 31. Andy Ruiz, 30. No advantage. Height advantage, Dillian Whyte is 6'4". Andy Ruiz is 6'2". Dillian Whyte has a 78-inch reach. Andy Ruiz has a 74-inch reach. Favor, Dillian Whyte. But when you compare Dillian Whyte to Anthony Joshua had an 82-inch reach. Now, I'm going to be frank. I want you guys to hear me clear, right? People talk about if they fight, who's the A side? Now, I'm going to go right back to the chat. I see it's moving a little bit. But Charles D in the building. What's up, Charles D? Ow! Guys, the one, the only, the greatest baseball caller, guys, Al Red Sox fan. I'm telling you, my Cardinals need him. Shout out to my boy Al Red Sox fan. Getting very close to 1,000 subs. Thank you, my friend. Ethan Allen in the building. All right, let me see who all in here, man. Mad Dog H in the building. What's up, Mad Dog? Did I miss anybody else? Because this is not the best app. All right, so now I want to talk about it, right? I want to talk about this fight, right? People want to talk about who's the A side. If they fight, should it take place in the UK or the USA? And what's actually at stake. All right, so let's talk about it, okay? So, Eddie Hearn has sent a 7-figure offer to Andy Ruiz to fight Dillian Whyte. Now, I got to be honest, right? When I'm looking at their options to fight Andy Ruiz or fight Povetkin, I think those are two. It might be one more. But between those two, even though Andy Ruiz let me down, right? Like a date that didn't show up and left me hanging in that Anthony Joshua 2 fight. If Andy Ruiz just fight, matter of fact, I don't care which version, because Dillian Whyte cannot do what Joshua did. Joshua went back to the lab. He went to the lab. He got Klitschko. He got Lennox Lewis. He got everybody to get him to be able to move and box on the outside. Listen, Dillian Whyte never been the best of shape people. Can he box a little? Yes, he can box a little. Does he have a left hook? If it catch you, it can ring your bell like the top of a church, 12 noon. Yes, he does. But the thing with Dillian Whyte is Dillian Whyte gets rocked. Dillian Whyte just fought Vok, who was the second nephew to Moses, last fight, and struggled. And the fight before that, Oscar Rivas, Dillian Whyte had some issues because people was talking about the D-ball in his system. And listen, even though Dillian Whyte got cleared, right? They didn't clear him for not having any D-ball in his system. They only cleared him and said, well, it was only such a little bit, so we're going to let it slide. Now, Eddie Hearn has sent the offer to Andy Ruiz to fight Dillian Whyte in the UK. Now you got to ask yourself, if you're going to fight him in the UK, does it mean that Dillian Whyte could possibly have a small trace of D-ball in his system that will be allowed? Listen, I'm just asking this because when he fought Oscar Rivas, he had D-ball in his system, and he also had unchecked gloves. In case you guys don't know, right, this is how it goes, right? So the fighters get to know what gloves each other fighter is going to wear. They're allowed to pick out 2 gloves that needs to be verified or looked at by the other team. On fight night, Dillian Whyte came, I believe, to the fight with gloves already laced up, tied up, that was not approved or known or cleared by the other team. So he fought with unchecked gloves that he did not even take off after the fight, and he has small traces of D-ball in his system. But now let's talk about if Andy Ruiz fights Dillian Whyte. Guys, I'm saying this. Dillian Whyte has a lot to lose. Andy Ruiz is a dangerous opponent. Yes, I know he may have mental shit going on, because the money went to his head. And if he comes back, we don't know what's going to happen. Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz should be a pretty good fight overall. But if you ask me, who do I think is going to win? To be honest, in a tight fight, Andy should win. But guys, I'm only saying this. I know scorecards can be jacked up no matter where you at. But if Andy Ruiz fights Dillian Whyte in the UK and it goes to decision, that's going to be a hard one for Andy to win. But Dillian Whyte, if he fights Andy Ruiz, guys, I'm being honest, I got to give him some props. I got to give Dillian Whyte some props. And listen, a lot of you guys know I don't care that much for Dillian Whyte. For how he talks and the way that he avoids fighters. Luis Ortiz, I'm not going to mention. But if he fights Andy Ruiz, that's a dangerous fighter. Listen, if Dillian Whyte fight Andy Ruiz, he's talking about 800 days. He's talking about he's been number 1 800 days, or he had the mandatory here lately to fight Deontay Wilder. If he fights Andy Ruiz, and if he loses to Andy Ruiz, that mandatory 800 days is gone. It's gone. 800 days down the drain like flushing the toilet. Just watch it swirl around until it's gone. And now, 800 days of calling out Deontay Wilder. Andy Ruiz has now got a date. So right now, Andy Ruiz doesn't have anything, right? Well, when I say anything, he doesn't have any major shot for a title that's going to be enforced. He doesn't have that right now. Does he have some things? Yes. He beat Anthony Joshua, right? That's a lot. He was unified champion by defeating Anthony Joshua, right? That's a lot. If Andy Ruiz beats Dillian Whyte, he now has a date with Destiny versus Deontay Wilder. And Dillian Whyte is left out in the cold, with no coat, with a clear window where he can see the warmth inside. And that warmth is being occupied now by Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder. Let's go to the chat. I'm going to start down and then I'm going to go up. In the building, the expert genius. He said, what's good, T-Dub? I just had to body my bro. Tony's reviewing my last 2 vids. I got to check it out. Second on is uploading now. Check it out. I touched on the 800 days too. All right. Listen, first of all, he ain't on 800 days mandatory. He was the silver champion, and he was ranked number 1 for I don't know how many days. But he was not the mandatory because Dominique Brazil was the actual mandatory and fought the right to be the mandatory. But he did have a chance to fight Dominique Brazil before this last time, and he chose not to go that route. Ethan Elliott, I give Whyte this. I think he's got the best left hook in the division and a pretty good resume, but he has no stamina, weak chin, and bad defense. Listen, first of all that you said right now, Ethan, that spells disaster versus Deontay Wilder. That spells rest in peace versus Deontay Wilder. He don't got no head game like that. And Dillian Whyte is not typically a come-forward fighter. He tries to use a mixture of boxing. He wants to use his jab and try to mix things up. But he's not that fast. Now, I'm not saying Dillian Whyte can't hit. Don't get it twisted. This is not braids, drag locks, or finger waves. This is none of that. Don't get it twisted. This is not a press. But if Dillian Whyte fought Deontay Wilder, he's going to get served. And I'm not talking about the movie. Wilder would hit Dillian Whyte so hard that his soul would jiggle inside his body. That's what they call soul searching. When Wilder hits you so hard, it's like he's searching for your soul with the impact, to see if you have one or not, to see if you're human or not human, to be or not to be. But listen, Andy Ruiz versus Dillian Whyte, that's honestly is a good fight. That is a good fight, to be honest. Listen, Dillian Whyte has a questionable chin. He gets dropped more than ex-girlfriends or boyfriends, right? Andy Ruiz coming out a lackluster performance where his mental game was tested and he failed. Dillian Whyte cannot do what Anthony Joshua did. He doesn't have the reach advantage or the height advantage to do it. See, Anthony Joshua is 6'6" with an 82 reach advantage compared to Andy Ruiz, who is 6'2" and a 74-inch reach advantage, or a 74-inch reach. Dillian Whyte is 6'4", so you're talking about 6'4" compared to 6'2". He does have a 4-inch reach advantage, but Andy Ruiz is very good at when he does come in, getting past that. Dillian Whyte doesn't have the legs. Dillian Whyte has never came in the ring abbed up. He always has some type of gut. Dillian Whyte has never looked the best shape, which is why people talk about he fatigues some. Oh, shit. Miguel Angel Lopez in the building. What's going on? Deontay would end White's career. God, listen, man. I'm telling you, bro. I have to. Oh, guy, listen. I got some. I don't know if I got no keys. Okay. I got some somewhat good news. Somewhat good news, guys. Let me tell you. Hold on. All right, I got somewhat good news. Hopefully they stick with it. They told me, they said, I think this Friday coming up, might be my last mandatory overtime. And then I'm gonna be back giving you this hour special. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's get it. Let's talk about it. Andy Ruiz versus Dillian Whyte is actually a pretty good fight. Some people said, is Andy Ruiz the A-side? Should the fight be taking place in the USA? Or is Dillian Whyte the A-side? Should it be in the UK? I'm going to be honest, all right? After that lackluster performance that Andy Ruiz done, I do not believe that the fight will be bigger or do bigger if it's in the USA. To be honest, I think the UK, because Dillian Whyte does get a lot of support, and because Andy Ruiz did fight Anthony Joshua last, I think it would do a better fight. They're more familiar with Dillian Whyte, and they're more familiar with Andy Ruiz. People in the USA, a lot of people are not familiar with Dillian Whyte like that. To be honest, I really don't know what's going on with Andy Ruiz, because Andy Ruiz, from what I heard, since his last fight, he has not been back to camp. They've been waiting for him to show up. He has not, but he did put up a post about who he should fight next, which I guess that's a good sign that he's ready to get back into action. Looks like, I know they want to target to either fight in March or fight in April. I think that's enough time. I hope Andy Ruiz takes it serious. Listen, Andy should take this fight, I'm being honest, right? I give Andy shit, I give Dillian Whyte shit. But to be honest, this is a good heavyweight fight. Andy should take this fight Because if he wins, he gets to be the mandatory for Deontay Wilder, and they put him back in the spotlight to every fight that he have before fighting Wilder. It is a major fight because he is putting that mandatory on the line. But guys, it's your boy T. That was Blazing Sports. I definitely 100% sure talked above my time. But do me a favor, you already know, don't tell nobody. That's your boy T. Dub, and here is what's Blazing the Sports.